ask to open the meeting and welcome everybody. First order of business, if I can ask for a motion to approve our minutes from the January 29th meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Terrific. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. Our first actual order of business today is to approve and execute a grant with regard to the H&H, Health and Hospitals here in the city, with regard to Action Health NYC. And we've asked Chris Keeley to spend a moment just giving us a quick background on this. Chris, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Famous Chris Keeley.
Sure.
Chris, can you just give us
Some of us H&H still means like a good big
Right. I still can't stop saying HHC. It's so Chris, tell us a little bit about this.
Sure. So Action Health NYC is a new program getting off the ground. We just started doing enrollment on Monday, this past Monday, a few days ago. The goal of the program is to provide healthcare access and care coordination for immigrants that are unable to enjoy the benefits of the Affordable Care Act. And so that's people ineligible for Medicaid, ineligible for subsidies on the state marketplace. And what we're doing is going out through community-based organizations, conducting outreach, finding those individuals that are ineligible, bringing them into our enrollment process, working with them to assign them to a primary care home. And then what we're going to do is have a level fee scale for everybody, whether they choose a health and hospital site or a local community healthcare clinic. We're primarily in Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, Corona, as well as Chinatown, Lower East Side. So we've got Elmhurst Hospital and Gouverneur Hospital as our anchors, and then 4 FQHC partners, 3 in Queens and 3 in Lower East Side, Chinatown. And what we're going to be doing is providing them that intensive care coordination over the next year and doing some very strong evaluation to understand what the impacts are, both on the care coordination side as well as on that increased access.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Any questions on the item?
No, it's also great connection to IDNYC also. It's,
That's right. Absolutely.
That's right. It serves as the membership card for the program.
That's
really
great.
exciting.
Move the resolution.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Terrific. Motion carries. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
The next item we have is just a technical amendment to a resolution that this board adopted back in March of 2015. The technical amendments here are just to make sure that you'll notice, make sure that the third paragraph is consistent with the second paragraph. These words other than procurement. That should have been reflected. It was not reflected in the item that you guys adopted on May 5th, so we're coming at you again. The other change that we're suggesting here is at the end of the second and at the end of the third paragraph, whereas I provided prior written approval before it went to the board for the chair and the vice chair, we're now suggesting that we identify either the chair or the vice chair for those notifications, and obviously for the larger one, it would still require full ratification of the board. So this is, again, just to make sure that we're notifying the board or the vice chair, but it would still come to the board on those actions. So those are the 3 technical changes to this. If there are not any questions on that,
Hearing no questions, I move the resolution.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Terrific. And that brings us to our fund policies and procedures manual. This is actually the reason I need to get this meeting scheduled in fairly short order. I'm going to ask Maya Yakubovich from our team and Bridget sorry Bridget, I always murder your name, to just sit in for a quick minute to just reflect on what these changes were and why they were required. So Maya, you want to just give the quick?
Sure. So for the Mayor's Fund, most of the changes were pretty insubstantial. Clear division of duties. We inserted the contract approval of the over $250,000 language into this as a policy. We removed the program manager's signature from payment authorization forms, but kept still my signature, executive director, treasurer, and secretary for signature on the checks. And
Yes,
tightened
a lot
up
of signatures.
lots of signatures still, just one less signature, and tighten the language on the procurement process. And then the main reason we had to call the meeting was for a social innovation fund, and I'll let Bridget expand on that.
So within the Social Innovation Fund, this is funded by a federal grant, and so since the last time the policies were written, several things have changed in our federal grant making. So we certainly needed to adopt the new requirements, which are so in the fund terms we're talking about. We reference now not just the OMB circulars, which guide grant compliance, but now reference what's called the Uniform Guidance, or the 2 CFR. So that's just any nonprofit getting federal funds. There's a test afterwards, I assume you know. And so we were simply picking up the federal rules that are now governing the newest federal grant that the Mayor's Fund has. Of note is one of the things we adopted with this was to leverage the authority granted under the new federal requirements to allow for what they called, excitingly, the non-competitive procurement option. This would be an option for a subgrantee of the Mayor's Fund, so a nonprofit that's doing this work, to select a vendor or a partner without the full competitive process that normally they would need to go to. This is probably very similar to a sole source procurement, which people would know, or when you apply and you name a partner or a vendor in your application. That often is considered sort of the same idea. You're skipping the full competitive process. You're not going out and getting the bids. You're naming someone who has unique capacity and bringing them in.
And so for us to contextualize it, so we obviously underwent a very rigorous, very thorough competitive process to choose our partners in this process. The question is, the relationship that we wanted these CBOs that we're partnering with was for them to select a mental health provider, and that's actually the partnership that we wanted. We needed to give them a mechanism and provide a mechanism for them to be able to find that partner that works, select them, name them, being able to go through this kind of process. Is that?
Yeah, perfect. So we're really sort of codifying what is under the Mayor's Fund authority and referencing the new federal regs that guide the work and that they're sort of in line with what the feds will be looking at.
And legal has approved this document.
Any thoughts, questions?
Move that we approve the changes to the Mayor's Fund Fiscal Policies and Procedures Manual.
Terrific. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Terrific. That concludes our work for the day.
Actually, on the investment policy and guidelines that came out late, is that a different issue?
That is going to be,
Audit committee?
yep, I'm actually going to seek to, what do we do? It's not postpone, it's not close. Adjourn. Thank you. Motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now we're going to do hopefully 15, 20 minutes on finance and audit, just to go through that
Yeah.
quickly. So Rich, you are dismissed.
But you can stay.
I mean,
Just for that, you have to stay.
thank you.
We know you missed that.
I don't think so. I don't think that's
That's all.
committed.
I did.
Come on, Rick.